trying to razz us up a little bit, Mick? Us Aussies down here, you're trying to get a bite out of us? Carl, wow, Minnesota Mick, do you sniff Jamal's jockstrap or do you neck the lot, mate? Hey, we've got Carl coming on. There you go. I'll bring him on. Hang on. Let's see where he is. I'll just see what guess we've got there. Number 3. There he is. Let's bring him on. Is he there? Carl, how are you, mate?
How are you? Have got the size of the head on it.
You look good, mate. Thanks for coming on. It's I'm liking the fact some of you guys are starting to come on. It's great.
Yeah, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. Now you're obviously we'll sort it out with Minnesota Mick while we're going here, mate. Is he just taking the piss, or is he honestly believe that?
Oh, fucking fanboys, mate. Fanboys. It's boxing, mate. It's boxing.
What do you say here? Charlo will kill it because who hasn't fought anyway. Hang on. What do we got here from Mick? Is that more an Aussie reporter coming over? Disrespected Charlo at that press conference. I think that was that was one of the Fox Sports guys, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate. If anyone's got a chance, bloody Tim has.
Yeah. So how do you see it, Carl? I mean, I know we like the banter and all that sort of stuff. How does Tim win? Do you really think he can win? And if he can, then how?
Mate, he's got to do it convincingly, and he's got to move forward, mate. I don't think he can be on the back foot. I think he's got to get in the pocket, and I don't know if he wants to exchange flat out with Charlo, because Charlo can be a bit, he's pretty heavy-handed. But mate, he's got to counter well. He's got to utilise the ring, and mate, I think he's got as good a chance as anyone of beating Charlo.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. See there, Jay Brown. It's 4 a.m. in Minnesota right now, Mick. It's surely bedtime to do some more drink. 4 a.m. And you're watching. Hey, mate, we appreciate you being on. That's great. It's what is it here? About 9 o'clock at night here, or here? It's probably 8 o'clock up there, is it?
8 o'clock up my way, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, down here in where Mexico down here, it's 9 o'clock. So. What do we got here? JJ. Nah, I'm favouring Charlo. What else, buddy? Zoo can become undisputed. Wow, yeah, nah, it would be good. Mick, he's not sold. So Mick probably needs another coffee, I reckon. So Carl, give us. You just said how Tim can win. What are some of the concerns that you have? I mean, with Charlo. I mean, obviously he's an undisputed champion for a reason.
Mate, Tim's been dropped before, but to Tim's credit, mate, he's got straight back up.
Yep.
And he didn't look groggy. And then he won that fight convincingly against Gashau. He won that fight convincingly, mate. He had a point to prove. And mate, let's not forget, if there's any bloke in Australian boxing that can do it, man, it's a humble dude like Tim Tszyu, man. He can just block out the hate, and he knows he's got the biggest job on his hands. It's the biggest task he's ever had. But mate, he's like any Aussie, mate. He don't duck smoke. We don't duck smoke. Aussies want it all, mate. We want it all, and we're not prima donnas, mate. Yeah. It's one thing about Aussie boxing, we're not fucking prima donnas, and we don't hide behind belts and run and pick cherries. And Tim's gone from class to class to class, mate. You can't doubt that with the bloke. You got to give him his props.
Yeah, no, you do, mate. Similar to George Kambosos, who said, "All right, well, the title's not going to come to me, so I'm going to go out and get the title." And he fought all around the world and all different countries and different opponents, whoever they threw at him, he fought. Some of the times he was even the fight after the main event. I think it was one of Pacquiao's fights. He just did it because he had to, and then got his opportunity and relished going to America to win the belt. And that's the impression you get with Tim. You just get the impression that he doesn't want this in Australia. He wants to fight this guy in Las Vegas. He wants the big time, and he's going to get it.
Yeah, man, and it's the first time his old man's in his corner since his first pro fight.
Yeah. Do you reckon is that a bit of a distraction, you think, or is it going to be a good thing?
I think he's given Dad strict orders to shut his fucking mouth and just observe.
Well, because when you think
Pardon
about
my
it,
French.
Well, when you think about it, he's going to be in Vegas, of course. There's going to be a shitload of Aussies there, not just Aussies, but world fans. It's Vegas, of course. So with Costa Tszyu there, everyone's going to want an interview. He's going to be around the city. Be interesting to see. Look, I think my opinion is Tim will have the blinkers on. He won't even probably ever notice it, but it'll probably just be everyone else that notice it. But I think it might be a good thing for Tim, just to settle him down there. Geez, the more people you got around you that you love and you trust, the better, I think.
Hey, mate, I'll just say one thing. For all the American boxers out there, watch this bloke when he gives an interview, because this guy shows you how people need to act around. This is how you act around a camera. I'm
Yep.
predicting the future, and I'm going to show you how a fighter should act around a camera and in front of people. This is gonna show you exactly what boxing should be about, mate. They're the type of fighters I dig, mate. Are humble in the ring and out of the ring.
Yeah, mate, I was just going to say it's a very good point because, hey, look, we know we've got some American viewers out there, of course. We love our American viewers, but the culture's a little bit different in the sporting world. Now, if the Americans or just people from not Australia can sort of, the way us Aussies we like humble champions, don't we? We don't like the trash talk. We don't like all the hot dogging. We don't like all the, the Hollywood type of stuff. We like humble sportsmen, not just boxers, but all people, which is why someone like a Nick Kyrgios is not well liked in Australia, the tennis player, because of his personality. We like our athletes, especially our fighters, to be down to earth, and you can't get better than that than someone like Tim, and that's probably why Michael Zarafa is so unliked, and to some extent, George Kambosos lost a few fans in the first Haney fight as well.
Mate, he lost me in that first fight, Lynden. Oh, the smack talk with the rat and the snitch, and mate, we all know what rats and snitches are, mate. And it's just that was odd. That was odd.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he had anything to come at Devon with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he had anything because Devon just stayed quiet and stayed in his lane and did his thing, man. And yeah, a lot of people can say what they want about Devon Haney, man, but he did the job with a jab.
Yeah. Yeah.
He neutralised everything George had with a jab, mate. Yeah. Like, George didn't get any combinations off. Like,
yeah, and I think too that George, I won't say learned his lesson, but probably took on board the response from that first fight. And you could tell in that second fight he was a lot low key. He didn't have the flash suits on. He didn't have the belts to flash around anyway. But you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have the sunglasses on. He wasn't I am the world champion sort of thing. And I think he got back to the eye of the tiger sort of mentality for the second fight. I know it wasn't enough, but I think he'd be at least content that he went out there and gave his all. And welcome Lewis, by the way, the Mexican, all the guys from Mexico, thank you. But you just saw a different George last time, and I know he didn't get the win, but I think a lot of Aussies respect him more by the way he carried himself in that second fight.
100%, mate. 100%. It was missing from the first fight. And you know what? Aussies are Aussies, mate. We still love our boxers. It's one thing I noticed with the States. If their boxer takes L, man, it's career suicide. Like, that's the end of your career. But here, we don't judge a guy by the amount of times he gets knocked down. We judge him by how he bounces back, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. We'll always give someone a go. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. American boxing's weird, mate. They're good people. I've got a lot of good American friends, but mate, they're proper hardcore. I thought I knew some crazy boxing fans, bro. But
well, as I said, mate, it's a little bit. It's just the culture difference, isn't it? Because over there, it's almost like to get people behind you have to be the hot dog type of thing, and you have to be a bit controversial, a bit mouthy. And I just like fighters like I must have been like a Charlo. I mean, I really admire them as fighters, but I can't warm to them by the way they just carry on with their shit, you know. And even Floyd Mayweather, I don't put in that category because he wasn't that. He was confident in himself. And he didn't really get into the bling bling type of thing. He was just Floyd Mayweather and had so much belief. So I don't think he's in that category. That's why we love guys like Mosley and De La Hoya and back in the day Tyson and Hagler and all those, because there's a difference between being confident, a really personality. But when you just, as we would say, being a wanker, it's very very hard to warm to them.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is, and yet they rub you up the wrong way. You know, they with all the flashy with jewels, and you know, I don't get them, man. They're not the long-term planning type guys. You know what I mean? Like, they're not investing in their future, like buying property and investing their money on a stock market or something. No, they're buying jewels. They're buying Lamborghinis.
Cars. Yep. Well, there you go,
mate.
You've got someone that's going for. Can we sign Carl up for Zoo security team, please? I reckon you'd happily do that, wouldn't you? Be over there and look after Tim.
Mate, I'm nursing some stitches and a bit of a shiner at the moment. But yeah, mate. Yeah, mate. Yeah. I got a bit mouthy with the missus.
Oh, okay.
No. Work injury. Shower screen smashed on me, mate. I'm a builder. I was putting a shower screen in and it smashed and split me open. And yeah, this is a result of it.
Buddy,
but hey, the missus story's better.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'd maybe go with the pub story, but buddy, crazy Queenslanders up there. Well, this is a good point. The man Mundine wasn't humble, Minnesota Mick, but he
No.
also wasn't well liked in Australia at all.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
He had as many haters as he had followers, mate.
Probably more. And he was definitely one of those fighters that the Aussies, now, a lot of the race card was brought into it, but I don't think it ever had to do with race. It was because he was perceived, as I said again, as the wanker.
Yeah.
I know because Mundine's obviously Aboriginal. And he was that was a lot of the you don't like him because he's Aboriginal. It had nothing to do with that. It's because he was like an American type of fighter.
Hey, Lynden, I think that's an easy way out to say that it was the race card thing, mate. But it had nothing to do with his race.
No,
his old man was an absolute champion. Mate.
Everyone loved
his old man
dad.
Was a legend.
Yep.
Oh, Tony was an absolute legend of the sport.
Yep.
No one had any hate for him. Look, blokes like Lionel Rose, mate.
Yep.
Won his title in '68 and defended the frigging thing twice in the same year.
Really good point, actually. Yeah, you're right. They were the two of the most loved Aussie boxers of all time. And Tony Mundine, if you don't know, fought Carlos Monzon for the world title back in the day, so didn't get the win. But obviously Lionel Rose got the win. But yeah, look, I'm with you, mate. It used to piss me off when it used to be about the race thing.
Yeah.
But but that was, I think, to generate a bit more. And Mick, back in the day too, it was Danny Green was his Superman to Batman type of thing, wasn't it? So, or the hero to villain.
Yeah, but mate, the Danny Green that fought Mundine, mate, was the shell of the Danny Green. Like he was weight trained. Like he wasn't the same Danny Green, mate. And Mundine made sure he didn't get the 100% on point Danny Green, mate, because Danny would have wiped the floor with him.
Yeah. See there, Minnesota Mick as well. Yeah, Cambosa's full on too. That's Noonan Boys guy. Yep, Nick will be on the Christmas show too, by the way. Minnesota Mick, which will be Tuesday of Christmas week. Yeah, so, but as I said before, Mick, Cambosa's lost a lot of Aussie fans in that first fight, or after the first fight, even leading up to the first fight.
Even leading up, mate.
And the second fight, he did redeem himself a fair bit. I think he got a lot on board. And that's why, Carl, I'll let you go soon, mate. But one thing, I commented earlier before about the Zarafa thing. Do you reckon Zarafa should have taken the same path for, with his opportunity in Sydney, of just been humble and just let people have the say, just don't engage with them?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he's got to learn to block out the noise, block out the hate.
He can't help himself.
I like Mick. I like him as a boxer, man. But once again, it depends on what version of Mick you get.
Yep.
And the version of Mick versus Creati or Creati, whatever it was. Yeah. That, mate, he just got that job done there, mate. And hats off to Creati, because, man, he gave him a hell of a fight. And Mick was on the back foot. He was on his bike, and I thought Zarafa would do like he did that Isaac, mate. I thought he'd show that the level he's at.
Yep.
And, mate, to me, it sort of knocked him back a bit. It didn't help his chance. And, mate, if Triple G's looking at that fight for March, because Eddie Hearn's talking about another big mega fight in Australia. He wants to sell out the Gabba. He loves his cricket. He loves the Gabba. He wants to get a big match up here in Queensland. I don't think Mick Zarafa's the guy for Triple G, mate.
No, I agree. Well, look, good luck to him if he gets the fight. That's all I'll say. At least he wants the big guys, and that's great. And I really hope he gets the fight and does really well and wins it and all the rest of it. But if he wants the Aussie fans behind him, and maybe I was going to say maybe he doesn't, but look, why wouldn't you want the Aussie fans behind you? And I thought with that video I've mentioned on here, they put the video out to maybe endear some Aussies, but I think it just had the reverse effect. I think it did. I think it just said, I don't think it did anything but alienate even more people.
Mate, I think a lot of these blokes need me as their spokesperson for them.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I can get in there and I can talk smack, mate. But I can tell them what they need to say, mate. Because some of these guys, man, I could be the best PR man for them.
Yeah. Well, you're the person that they're trying to endear themselves to. You guys are the true blue Aussie, fair income Aussie boxing fans. So they probably need a consultant like you.
Mate, I'm a nut. I'm a junkie. I'm a junkie, mate. I can't get enough of this shit. I'm on every chance I can be, mate. I get on these things.
I reckon we need to get a bit of a fun going to get you over to Vegas, mate. I reckon it'd be pretty fun over there. I'm not sure you behave yourself. It's the only, and if the missus did that to you, I'm not sure we could subject you to any more of that.
Mate, they call me Teflon. My nickname's Teflon, mate.
Nothing sticks?
Nothing sticks, brother.
Yeah, nah, all good, mate. Hey, well, really appreciate you coming on, mate, and tuning into the show each week. And don't be a stranger. Make sure you come on every now and then. Anyone else that's out there would like to come on, the link's always there. So it'd be good to have you on, just like Carl, and we can have a chat and answer any questions. So thanks again, mate.
Hey, before I go,
Oh,
mate,
yep, go ahead.
Before I go, mate, can I just ask you one thing?
Yep.
Hey, what do you think's next for Liam Paro? What do you think? Oh, mate, I'm chomping at the bit. I was all on the Brock Jarvis train. That got derailed. So Liam Paro proved that the level that Liam's at ain't where Brock's at. I thought Brock's power would convert to 140. I was wrong. He had a totally wrong game plan going in, arms flailing everywhere. And, mate, Liam caught him in 100 seconds. That game's over. What do you think's next?
Oh, look, it's a really good question, mate. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he has one more fight before fighting for the title. I think what they might do is maybe give him another tune-up fight. Might be in Australia again, and he'll fight. I think Taylor will win against Catterall, I think, and he'll go up, and I think he'll get a crack at a vacant title. Hey, who knows? Could be against Teofimo Lopez. How good would that be? But I think either way,
I'd love that.
I think he'll have a tune-up fight and fight for one of the vacant belts, I would think. I think even if Taylor loses, I think the belts might still fragment, I reckon. I don't think Catterall will get all the 4 belts. Just a hunch that something will happen and they'll vacate a few. Sometimes I need that to happen. If the belts are tied up too much, they need an opportunity, an excuse to separate them a little bit and get the division sort of going again, I think. And that's what I reckon might happen. Because you've got guys like Paro and Ryan Garcia and all those types of guys, Lopez sort of coming through. They all want world title shots and you can't fight them all. So it's a good opportunity to spill the belts and give all those, have some really good fights for the vacant titles. But I think one more fight, mate, and then you'll see him fight for the belt.
Righto, mate. Hey, and I just want to give a big shout out to Shannon, mate. I hope you knocked that Ebony. I hope you knocked the stuffing out of her.
Sure should be watching, mate. Good stuff.
Good on you, mate. Have a good one, Lynden. I'll be tuning in, brother.
No worries, mate. Thanks, Carl.
All right. See you, mate.
Great to have